Alright, let me just test audio real quick. Alright, we sound good. Okay, cool. Here we go. Alright, so this is blackberry honey. I know, interesting name. If you don't know what this is, it's a visual novel. Wouldn't be surprised if you didn't know what it is. It's a visual novel. I think it's about a maid, like a lesbo maid making out of other girls, but I don't know. I just saw two girls kissing on the front cover, and I invested. All right, it was an investment. It wasn't just a buy. All right, I promise. Well, I guess there's nothing left to do apart from dive on in, and yes, you will hear incredible voice acting from me. Only the finest of voice acting. And also, my reading speed is impeccable as well, but just so you know. The night sky was dark, a few stars twinkle up above. Just tiny pinpricks. Like spilt granules of sugar. The stars looked so small and far away, it tugged at something within the young woman's heart. Was this the sky her family could see? I'm guessing her family's like another, like she's separated from her family then? I don't know. Were these the same stars? Yes, Dylan, I am online if you're wondering. I am. I'm just not appearing online, Dylan. I hope you understand. Fine, if I have to lay it out for you, just be a sec. I'll go back to the story in a sec. Just give me a sec. I'll be right there. Give me a sec. Alright, I'll be right there. Give me a sec. We'll get back to the two maids kissing in a minute. Alright. There you are, Dylan. I am online indeed. Was this moon the same moon? I mean, from my calculations, I think there's only one moon, but I could be wrong. She didn't know. Well, she must be a stupid bitch. She hadn't seen her family in so long. She hadn't seen her family in so long. Oh, same thing. But she couldn't think about that now. If you did, she was sure she would cry, and she didn't want that. She refused. She'd always been stubborn. Oh, tsundere maybe. Oh, who knows? Oh. That was how she ended up in this mess. Where are we going now? The girl had been riding in the back of a horse-drawn cab for upwards of 14 hours, from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Her legs, which had been cramped up in a space far too small for them for far too long, hurt. Even as she stood there doing nothing more strenuous than simply existing, her body trembled. It felt like a malicious imp was inserting needles into the back of her legs. Also known as pins and needles, if you could be so inclined. She could hear in the distance the sound of horses, hooves striking against the ground. The carriage was launching away beneath a cover of night, lurching. I don't know how to read, fuck off. There was nowhere else for her to go, nowhere for her to run. All she could do was stare at the wrought iron iron gates before her, and the large, imposing house beyond Blee. It was worlds apart from the girl's house in Liverpool, which she had shared for many years with her mother and two sisters. These sisters now, given the recent birth, three sisters now, given the recent birth of the youngest, Alice, little Alice. But she would never be able to see Alice grow up. She swallowed, her throat convulsed. So this was her new place of residence, but not her home. She could have never called it home. There was something horrible astir about this place, but not helped by the sinister shadows that enveloped everything. The trees in the vast, expansive garden were tall and skinny. They stood sentinel. Their broads waved in the breeze, almost like ghosts, skeletal soldiers. Blee, with its crumbling walls and darkened windows, seemed like the kind of place that would have a ghost story or two. It had existed long enough, built in the early part of the 17th century, that the girl had heard. How many ghosts lurked within these walls? Soon she would find out. Her carpet bag was balanced on the crook of her arm. It was small and had a dent in the side, impossible to remove. She knew because she had tried. All her worldly belongings were stored inside that single bag. A few sets of clothes, a hairbrush, an old, battered volume of Robinson Crusoe. That was all. There was no toiletries, no jewellery, not even a single pair of shoes. She couldn't afford such luxuries. She was only a maid at Blee, if that's how you say it. Worked in service of Leonard family. She'd never met Leonard family before. The Pickerings, housekeepers, Miss Mary Ann, had told her they were not so very bad. There was the mistress, Lady Louisa Leonard. The husband, Lord Albert Leonard. God, I have such trouble saying that. Who was often away on business trips. And then there was their sole daughter, an heir to the family fortune. Oh, for fuck's sake. Lady Constable Leonard. She couldn't help that much. She couldn't handle that much, couldn't she? She hoped so. She had to. She didn't have a choice. She drew in a deep breath. The cold air tugged at her hair and her skirts. Right? Her fingers trembled. They were starting to turn blue. The wind seemed to suck the air out of her lungs It felt like a cold hand was pressing against her larynx. That's good enough. She choked on her own breath. Her eyes stung. But she couldn't cry. She already told herself she wouldn't. Instead, trying to gather up what little scraps of self-confidence she still possessed. You can do this, there's no turning back now. I don't know if that's the right voice. You can do this, there's no turning back now. Lorena. Oh, we get her full name. Wagyu. Lorena Wagyu. Only 19 years of age. Clutched her bag to her chest and struggled and straightened her back. She wasn't one to back down from challenge. Just how badly could Blee possibly be? Rams. Give it music back now, it's like deathly silent, yeah, a bit ominous. There it is. So like I said, I think this is like a maid thing, like a maid romance probably between her and the sole daughter to this thing. But it should be quiet. Once more through their delicate sins. I'll let you read that. So I don't know about you, but I didn't see one bloke in there at all. The 16th of March, Wednesday. It is. Okay. Okay, maybe I have to make noises like that again. When Lorena opened her eyes, she was met with the same dismal sight that had greeted her every morning for the last 4 months. A grey ceiling, beeped her, and there was ominous cracks. Hurtling. Inevitable day when it would one day collapse upon its own weight. This is a weird structure sentence, it's not just me, is it? For the time being, however, was where Lorena was to sleep. Her very own bedroom in Blee. Oh hey Nate, do you remember that game? You know, the game that we played when you were around? Yeah, I'm playing that one now. Did you doze off or something? Are you just living life? Not that it was her bedroom, of course. It was a small, tightly packed attic she shared with 5 of her fellow maids. Oh god, names. Isabel, Paulina, Ada, Elfie, and the Swiss-born Letty. It's good enough for me. What do you mean this shit? This is quality. You just wait till they start kissing, alright? Then you'll be thanking me then. The other maids were arising, stretching and yawning, complaining. Isabel and Paulina were the worst for it. They always complained. You just wait till a broad comes on the screen, mate. You'll be having a great time. Lorena supposed it was very English in the way, but she rather wished they wouldn't. Okay. Ugh, my head feels so thick. Must mean there's rain coming. It's always bloody rain round here. What the hell? Wouldn't be England without it. Classic. Classic. I like the rain. Okay, bitch. Good on you, effing. It's good enough. Oh god, get her off the screen. Good morning, Lorena. Jesus Christ. Oh, hello. Oh, Lorena stretched and sat up in bed. The thin sheets pulled at her body. Tell you where they're not. Oh, boy. I wish I was pulled on that body. The sheets were stained and rarely offered any warmth, not even in the spring. Still, Lorena supposed it was better than nothing. Look on the bright side. That's what her mother would say. There's always a silver lining. Said silver lining beyond Lorena's fellow maid Ada. Ada was rather young, only a year or so older than Lorena. And the two maids had formed something of an alliance. They were both older sisters and large families. They both worked in order to support their siblings. The only difference was Ada had 3 younger brothers and Lorena had 3 sisters. You know that Miku game before I was playing, I did get the audio to work eventually. I promise, I know you weren't here when it happened, but it was working. Good morning, Ada. Good? What's so good about it exactly? It's just a figure of speech, bitch. I don't care what it is. It's bleating ridiculous. Should give them like British accents to make it even funnier. Here. Does anybody want to wake up at 5 o'clock? Maybe masochists? I must be a bloody masochist working here. My fingers are shot to pieces. They're shaking. I'll never be able to light the fires like this. I don't talk about fires. I'm frigid. No, that's not right. Fragile. This night was cold. Okay. New person? I think that was cold? That was nothing compared to the winters and adamant. And And in case you hadn't realised, Loretto, you're not in Switzerland no more. Ah yes. Oh, how I miss it. Please don't pop up her name again or I'm gonna be so confused. What the hell they're on about. The sun is rising over the Alps. Is truly a sight to behold. I wish you could all see it. Oh god. That doesn't sound... That sounds rather lovely. They said the air in the Alps is very good for the circulation. I'm sure it would do you wonders. Do you really think so? Oh yes, I know so. Unfortunately, there are no Alps to behold here. Get your head out of the clouds, Rena. Loretta. Or I'll shove it up the chimney. You Englishwomen are so very witty. Okay, bitch. Witty was the last word Lorena would have used in conjunction with Isabel, but she decided to keep that to herself. What's her facial expression change? When did that happen? Oh, that changed again. You think such minimal effort goes into these games, you know? It's just still backgrounds of like the odd movement, like the odd frame change of like text that pops up, and you know, royalty-free music playing in the background. With a small yawn, the youngest maid stretched her arms above her head. She was unsure what time it was exactly, but it must have been around 5 o'clock in the morning. Mornings came for the servants of Blee several hours earlier than they did for Lady Leonard and her privileged offspring. Lady Constance, I guess that's how you say it. The servants had to wake up at unforgiven hours before even the sun had started to rise. It was their lot in life to struggle about soundlessly creeping through the shadowy hallways, opening the shutters, polishing the fireplace, dusting the mantelpiece, and so on and so forth. It never ended. From 5 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, the maids of Blee were fully occupied with their work. There wasn't a single moment they could sit down and rest. Maybe that was why Isabel and Pauline, who had been maids for longer than the others, were so snappish and irritable. Damn, reading's actually really hard. It didn't help that the head butler, Grant Lester, was such a stickler for the rules. He was incredibly strict, perhaps more than Lady Leonard herself. That's gonna happen a lot when I like say, ooh, Leonard. Hey Lorena. Paulina, who had already dressed, giving Lorena a disappointed look. Were you planning on getting dressed at some point? Or are you just gonna sit there? I mean, that's actually standing there. And I think the freckles just don't look any good on like any of these things, on these characters. I don't think so. Oh, Lorena scrambled to her feet, throwing the covers to one side. She had been so immersed in her idle fancies, she had quite forgotten. Paulina sniggered. So did Isabel. I'm sorry, I'll get ready right away. Don't apologise to us, apologise to Mr. Lester. When you're late coming downstairs. Again. Oh boy. I'm getting dressed right now, I am. Do you want us to applaud? Damn, real. We shan't wait for you, you know. Let's go. We'll be old women by the time she's finished. But that includes you too, Adele. Well, yeah, alright, sorry, Lorena. Don't apologize to her, stupid. Baka. If she gets scolded, she'll deserve it. On her own head, be it too. Be it. I understand. Sorry. Loretti, are you coming? Or are you still thinking about Switzerland? I'm so glad they shortened her name. I could not say that. I don't even know how to say it. I should have prepared, but whatever. I'm always thinking of Switzerland, but I don't want to be scolded by Mr. Lester. He's so very strict. Loretti gave Lorena an apologetic smile. I'll see you later, Lorena. If you ever have cause to feel down, just think about the Alps. Wow, she's so great. Oh, I will. Not that Lorena knew what the Alps looked like. She didn't know much, really. She'd never had cause to travel beyond the border of her home country. Being a maid, she'd probably never get the chance. Her future was already set in stone. Whoa man, this is a real good PowerPoint, am I right? Later that morning, we meet the loli. Oh my god. Is this the one you wanted? So this is the daughter of the household. The Constance. It's Constance. Constance, right? That's how you say it? It's Constance. Lady Constance made a show of pondering, index finger tapping against her lower lip before she shook her head. Now that is obviously not good enough. Oh, we got to like a little pretty girl. No, it's obviously not good enough. The leaves have got eaten by caterpillars. Look. I can't see anything wrong with it myself. Then you are blind. Or perhaps you're just a little... madam. Rita muttered maliciously under her breath. She knew she wasn't supposed to speak ill of her social betters, though. Had Lady Constance been one of Lorena's younger sisters, Lorena would have lost her temper already. If you don't like it, I can always look for another. See to it you do. I could not stand having a display of watered roses in my bedroom. I bet you could. What was that? Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself. What don't? Mother says that's a sign of madness. Oh god. I've gone insane. Perhaps she was mad. Lorena mustn't. She must have been talking to Lady Constance abuse. If she had an ounce of sense, she would have slapped Lady Constance right across her smug little face. 12 years. Or no. 12 years old or no. In fact, it was precisely because Lady Constance was 12 years old that she needed disciplining. If nobody gave her a stern talking to, Lorena feared Lady Constance would have become quite an unpleasant person when she got older. Even more unpleasant than she already was. Hey, look, Sundere lollies... alright, look. I just put on my heart for them, alright? If Lady Constance had been a sweet, innocent child who enjoyed tucking herself into small corners and reading books, she would have been a pleasure to serve. Lorena would have gone out of the way to make life as comfortable as possible for this imaginary Constance. The real Constance, however, was not so loving. Real little girls never were. Though they were despite as sweet. Delicate angels in play and poems. The reality was rather different. God, you have to take little breaks every now and then when you're reading, you know, it's just tiring. Now maid, try find me some roses that look nice. It shouldn't be too hard. Joe had strict orders, only to let the most beautiful roses bloom in the garden. Yes, miss. That was easier said than done. The roses within Lorena's immediate vicinity were not acceptable for whatever make-believe reasons Lady Constance had dreamed up. She would need to search harder. What about the roses that were further back in the thicket? Lorena began to search, brushing some of the roses to one side. The flowers were unbelievably beautiful. The pink petals were soft as velvet, but their thorns were numerous. They were sharp and pointed, just waiting to spill blood. Lorena shielded away. Like a reculant pony. Her fingertips trembled. The thorns promised pain, as she had not desired to cause herself unnecessary grief. Lady Constance, meanwhile, was unsympathetically. The little girl tutted and sighed and tapped her foot right against the ground, her brown eyes rolling about inside her head the whole time. This should be easy, maid. I don't understand why you're taking so long. It would be easy, Lorena whispered. She could retort. If somebody was not hell-bent on making this so complicated. But of course, she didn't say that, not even under her breath. It wouldn't have been worth it. This rose you're liking, miss? No, that's not good enough at all. Disgusting. Then this one. No, I want the best roses in my room. Anything less would be an insult. Useless. Are you trying to insult me? Of course not, miss. And take this more seriously. You're a maid, aren't you? Yes, miss. You should do everything within your power to keep me happy. Yes, miss. Start doing your job properly. I order you to pick me the best rose, and that's what I expect. The best rose is one right in the back, so you need to look a little deeper. But miss... What didn't you hear what I just said? I gave you an order. I realise that, but are those ears of yours just for show? You're listening to me. You will listen to me, won't you? Yes, I understand. Damn, this girl's brutal. You understand what? I understand, miss. If you understand, start looking. I won't leave until you've picked at least one acceptable rose. Yes, miss. Damn, this is brutal. You know, you kind of underestimate how much reading is in these games. At least this one particularly. There's no scenes where it's just like... Left with no other alternative, the young maid continued her search amongst the flower beds. Her arms trembled. So too did her eyelashes. Her whole body was tense and taut. One wrong move and she would lacerate her skin. And not just one, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 places. Then she would start swearing under her breath and blinking tears out of her eyes. Runa didn't want to show such a weak side of her character to Lady Constance. She could hardly bear the thought. That was probably why Lady Constance liked picking on her. Oh my god, I thought I could have a break, but I can't. Bit of water. Yeah. Dry throat. Dying out here. It's nice to start streaming again, because it makes me play games that I normally wouldn't play or that I've been putting off to play. I'm like, well, I don't know what to play, I'll chuck on this one looks good. I mean, I've been meaning to play this one for a while now, but just haven't got around to it. But of course there's not going to be like any actual playing in this, it's just going to be me hitting the X button multiple times. I think I'll probably turn this into a series, just because, you know. Lorena had too much pride, but she got flustered easily, and couldn't always stand up for herself. She wasn't like a parlour maid. I don't know... I know the word parlour, but I don't actually know what parlour is, per se. She would never be like the parlour maid. Not that she wanted to be. The parlour maid was a cold woman, aloof and distant, who only ever spoke to Lorena to pass malicious comments. Her barbed statements slid under breath the skin more effectively than 1,000 thorns from 1,000 roses. The parlour maid's words hurt, and Lorena didn't even know why. It was as though Lorena wanted her approval. She didn't like her. She didn't like her at all. Why was it then Lorena's throat felt dry whenever she saw her? Her stomach fluttered, and she couldn't look her in the eyes, and she... Lorena gasped in shock and stumbled away from the rosebush, clasping her hand to her chest. 3 wounds crisscrossed against the back of her right hand. 2 of them shallow, superfictional, oozing droplets of crimson blood no bigger than a pinhead. But the other was far bigger. This cut had cleared a chunk of flesh out of her hand, stripping back the skin like a roll off wallpaper. Jesus, she's gonna bleed out. Poor woman, she's dead. Ah, yes. Lorena stared at her hand and then at the ground. There were splotches of blood, her blood, just inches away from her right foot. She shook her head. She felt sick. Blood didn't often make Lorena feel faint, but there was quite a lot of it. She didn't want to smear her apron. To make matters worse, there was a thorn embedded in the back of her hand. It emerged from the open wound like a piece of thread through the eye of a needle. Don't bleed over the flower beds, idiot. What do you think you're doing? I just, Oh, don't tell me. Oops. Alright, I didn't mean to do that. No, don't tell me. I know the answer. You weren't thinking at all. You maids are useless. How did you do that to yourself? Oh, the parlour maid. This is the one that was on about before. We don't actually know her name yet. Do we ever learn her name, or should always be called the parlour maid? So she's like the high-standing, sophisticated maid, and these are the two on the front cover. So if it's not a love story between her and the little girl, that'd be a bit concerning. There's a bit of an age gap between them, so it's between these two, the love story, I guess. I don't know how this is gonna work, but on the cover, these two kissing, so I guess maybe that's what it is. It was an accident. Well, I should hope you didn't do that on purpose. Do it on purpose. That would be quite a foolish thing to do. But I mean, come on, she is past as hell. Lorena glowered, her cheeks flustered. The parlour maid was always cool, calm, and irritably aloof. She was as haughtily as a cat, as constantly seemed to look down on others, but she always accompanied a blanket with a small smile. Lorena never felt quite herself when she was in the company of this unsettling woman. Her gaze made Lorena tremble. It was almost as if everything within Lorena been misaligned by an inch or so her skeleton no longer fit neatly inside her body. Truthfully, Lorena had been hoping to avoid the parlour maid during this sad state of affairs. In a more perfect world, she would have retreated to the kitchen, cleaned the blood off her hand beneath the sink, and then pulled out the offending thorn with minimal fuss, no fanfare at all. That's what she wanted, but life was never that simple. True that. The parlour maid had been in the kitchen already, and Lorena had only realised when she crossed the threshold their eyes had met, It had been too late to turn and leave. Why the parlour maid was in the kitchen and not in the parlour, as the title suggests, was a mystery. So I guess a parlour is like a room in the house then. So like, is it like a dining room or something like that? I'm not sure. It appeared though Lorena had no intentions of asking her. She was in the middle of preparing various tea things, arranging several willow patterned teacups and a matching teapot on a tea tray. Was Lady Lorinda having guessed then? It seemed a good guess as any. Say, what do you want? I was wondering if I could take a look at your hand. Oh boys, it's happening, it's happening. Ooh. And why do you want to do that? Oh dear, so suspicious. I just wanted to know if I could be of any assistance. Like you're in pain. I don't know why you care. I'm just trying to show an interest. There's nothing terrible about that, is there? Do you think I'm terrible? Marina swallowed. She hadn't expected this sudden inquiry. Why was the parlour maid trying to put words into her mouth? I never said that. And stop being foolish and let me help you. You cannot expect to perform satisfactory first aid on yourself. Not with one hand, it can't be done. But you have to do work. I always have to have work to do. It can wait. But Lady Lorinda won't mind if her tea is a minute or two late, I'm sure. She'd mind if I was the one who delivered it. But you're not, I am. And it is different. It is different. That's right, it is different. Isn't it? Oh, 5 seconds. Rest. Now don't look so down. I'm just stating the facts, there's no need to sulk. I barely noticed the facial expression changes whenever I go pouty or something. You know? I'm not sulking. Not anymore, you're angry with me, aren't you? Well, she's having fun, damn. Hey. Lorena opened her mouth, closed it again. Her face turned even redder. The parlour maid laughed. You're so easy to read, Laurie. Laurie? That's right, Laurie. Nobody calls me that. I just did. I wish you wouldn't. We can't all have what we want. I'm aware of that, thank you very much. Lorena frowned. So the parlour maid knew her name, though she insisted on using a silly nickname for whatever reason, but Lorena didn't know hers. Maybe she should have done, considering she had been at leave for 4 months, but the parlour maid's name was strange and foreign. It was difficult to get her tongue around. Oh fuck, she can't say it at the moment. Why should she need to know her name anyway? They weren't friends. Lena wanted nothing to do with this insufferable woman. But all the same... God damn. I got an achievement. The Thorn. I guess is them just yagging it out. That's what that thing up in the corners. What are you doing? A scene maybe. Why are they both looking at the camera? It's a bit of a weird thing to do. I'd like to see it. What happens if I... Okay. I just wanted to see what happens if I did that. What are you doing? Taking care of you like I said I would. But why? Because I don't believe you can take care of yourself. That's quite an assumption to make. Not a very polite one either. Oh, she got the back of face on. There. Why should I worry about being polite? I'm polite enough to Lady Lorind. Though I don't think she deserves it. One gets awfully tired of minding their manners all the time. You agree with me, don't you? That's besides the point. So you do agree. How lovely. Now hold still. The parlourmaid's hands were smooth and soft. Her fingers were slender. They were the hands of an artisan. I think artisans like... Isn't it like... gardening? Or am I wrong? Artisan. Or is it like cattle? I know something like that. I don't know. Those hands were holding Lorena's. Lorena felt herself shivering, not just because of the pain. Her right hand was still bleeding, though gently. The bloodshed was so slow. How? And... lacquer... single... And lacquers? I don't know that word, man. I've never seen that word in my life. It was almost relaxing. Now what's this? We'll get a close-up shot. The parlourmaid's lips were inches away from the shell of Lorena's ear. Her breath tickled. Is this... Let me get real close. Is this a thorn? Lorena nodded dumbly. How did you do this to yourself? You fell into a rose bush? That wasn't intentional. Then you were pushed. You could say that, I suppose. Was it one of Lady Constance's whims? Yes, she wanted me to pick some roses for her, but I got hurt in the process. Evidently, Parlourmaid clicked her tongue against the roof of her mouth. Lady Constance doesn't care for flowers, you know. She's an exceedingly careless girl. I'm aware of that. I don't quite know when I'm meant to end this thing, because I think like, you know, an hour, maybe 2 hours is a respectable time, but I don't know. I'll see where the story goes, if it has like a stopping point, like the next day rolls around or something like that. Then why did you go along with her selfish request? She's only trying to make you miserable. And it seemed she was successful. Look what happened to you. What you let happen. I beg your pardon? You heard what I said. But you couldn't have meant it. Why not? I didn't let this happen. I didn't want to cut myself, You just what? Irina opened and closed her mouth, but no words came out. When she needed them the most, they abandoned her. I see. No reply is forthcoming. How disappointing. Anyways, let me attend to this. I never asked you to. But I will. Because if I don't, it will get infected and you'll get sick. Fine, go ahead. This will probably be heard. I hope you're prepared. Do your worst. Oh, was this a challenge? Take it however you want. I believe that your role is my little lorry. What you... Runa jumped. The sharp burst of pain flared up in her afflicted finger, as though a match had been struck against it. All of a sudden, there we go. This should take care of it. The parlour maid pulled the fawn free. Blood began to trickle from the cut. It looked brighter than ever, so red, almost drizzling. Almost. We're still in this scene? Oh, Christ. Now let's get you cleaned up. Runa followed, obedient as a child, as the parlour maid led her to the ceramic sink. Surprised I got that word. There she turns the tap. The steady stream of water began to flow. Whew. That's water. This might sting a bit, but you can handle it, can't you? I thought so. You're a big girl. Oh, she's a big girl, Laura. The parlour maid smiled. The parlour maid's small smile. Not a bit. Don't know what that word is. Even as Lorena's fingers spasmed beneath the water. Lorena glared at her. Beneath her eyelashes, her shoulders trembled. You... Yes, what is it, dear? Lorena gritted her teeth together. The words bubbled up within her breasts. What? Treacherous. I know what the word is. Treacherous. There it is. She would never have been able to say such things to Lady Constance or Lady Duranda for fear of losing her job. But she could say them to the parlour maid. Sorry. The parlour maid was the only one Lorena could talk to take her anger out on. I don't like you at all. Oh dear, how sad. The parlour maid sighed. How could you say that when I'm helping you? You don't want to help me. You just want to gloat. I think you're misunderstanding something, little Laurie. What? Like how little Laurie, she's just like, alright, I accept this now. My name is Loli. Unlike you, I don't do things unless I want to. But you can't live life like that. You're supposed to be a maid. Answering the whims of others is your purpose in life. I will decide my own purpose in life, thank you. Now hold still. Marina's blood continued to splash against the white ceramic basin of the sink. The water soon washed away. Muddying the colour until there was no trace remaining. Well, that settles that. The parlour maid took a neat step backwards, running a hand through her dark hair. The action seemed carefully calculated. Somehow it made Verena feel uneasy. Everything about the older woman was unsettling. You say older woman, but I mean they look pretty much the same age, right? It's not just me. And don't worry, there's no need to thank me. I wasn't going to, and I still can't stand you. I knew that only too well. If you cared for me in any way, you might have tried to remember my name. Oh well. For future reference, it's... Alright, now, let me try to figure this out. Tauhia. Tauhia? 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 I think it's Tauhia. We'll just go with Tauhia and hope that it isn't wrong. Tauhia. Not that you care. The 2nd of April, Saturday. So, this is a new day, I think. So seeing as this is a new day and we're already at an hour of streaming, I am very much tired, doing all this reading. It's a lot more tiring than you may think. It really is quite tiring. Let me see if I can save the game. Alright, it's saved. Let's head off to the title. Alright, so I'm fairly certain. So, if you enjoyed, Blackberry Honey, I'll be streaming it again, maybe tomorrow or sometime next week. I quite enjoyed it. There's definitely a lot of reading, and it's quite tiring, reading like this. I don't read out loud all that much. Not many people normally read out loud, or I haven't streamed in a while either, so talking for extended periods of time is also quite tiring. Overall, I'm very much tired. It's also about 1 in the morning for me as well. So I'll be uploading this to YouTube as well. So come over there and watch the full video or full stream if you want to come watch that. Like I said, we're doing another one if you want to catch that. You want to hear what happens next in Blackberry Honey. I don't really know where the name comes from. I don't know why they made it, why they called it this. I don't know. This was like one of the first visual novel games that I bought, and I'm only playing it now. I've got lots of other visual novel games, other like romance ones, some horror ones. So if you want me to play any of them, tell me, and I'll pick up some of them. Thanks for joining, and I guess I'll see you next time. See ya.